Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio. I'm your host, Jared Sebesta of Tejas Financial Group, where we build purposeful retirement plans. At Tejas Financial Group, we believe retirement planning is so much more than just preparing financially. Our goal is to help retirees and pre-retirees steward their time, their talent, and treasure. We have the tools and proven process to make sure your retirement plan delivers the greatest purpose, impact, and legacy. If you need help building a purposeful retirement plan specific for your situation and your life, give us a call. Our number is 222-4236. You can request a meeting at our website, tejasfinancial.com. And if you are in the neighborhood, just stop by our office. We're located right on 19th Avenue Southwest in Wilmer, building purposeful retirement plans. Well, thank you for joining us today. Before we get started, just a reminder, we have new ways that you can find us here at Time, Talent, Treasure Radio. First of all, again, at our website, tejasfinancial.com, we have all of our shows listed there. If you're into podcasting, we're on iTunes. Go on to iTunes and search Time, Talent, Treasure Radio. And if you're still looking for options, you miss our show live on the radio, go to YouTube, search Tejas Financial. You'll find our channel. Click subscribe while you're there. Same story with iTunes. If you're into podcasting, find our show and subscribe. You'll never miss a show. One more thing. Coming up on March 15th, in just a few days. In fact, it's tomorrow for all of our listeners live on KWLM. Noon tomorrow, March 15th, Central Time. Our next online webinar is coming up called 5 Simple Shifts to Reduce Money Worries and Love Retirement. We believe that the American Dream Retirement is a flawed concept. There's lots of assumptions and expectations that people have that rarely get challenged. And unfortunately, retirement, instead of becoming this season of life, of purpose, of impact, it becomes more worried about our money. If this sounds like you, join Ben Tejas and myself again on Wednesday, March 15th, noon Central. We're going to talk about these things and give you a plan where you can, again, reduce your money worries and love retirement more. It's a free online webinar, but you have to register. And the way that you register is you go to tejasfinancial.com. Again, if you can't make it live, not a big deal. Go to tejasfinancial.com, sign up for the register. Even if you can't attend live, that's okay. We'll send you a replay right to your inbox, totally free. All right, today we're continuing our series on retirement tools, and we've covered e-money software. We've talked about different designations that some of our people have. Ben Tejas talked about his CKA designation. We talked to Claire Molden a few weeks ago. She is now a certified financial planner. Last week, we talked to Tim Mattern and his specialty in Social Security. So again, lots of tools in our arsenal. Missed any of those shows, go back and check them out. But today, we're going to cover another retirement tool, and this is something that has become more popular here in the last 6 months to a year. They are fixed income options. Ben Tejas is here to talk about that. And so first, let's set the stage here. Why have options like this become so much more popular in the last year compared to maybe the last 5 to 10 years?
Well, Jared, it all comes down to interest rates, right? I mean, the last year, really to year and a half, interest rates have moved steadily upwards. In fact, quicker than they have in decades. So what a lot of our clients remember when it comes to interest rates is they remember the 80s. You know, we had a lot of farm clients, a lot of people that can remember the 80s where they were borrowing money from banks, where they were borrowing money to either buy land or to buy a home and their mortgage, and rates were super high. Well, ever since that time period, rates have done nothing but go down. Mm-hmm. And we've been on this free fall until this last 18 months or so, when we saw rates just climb really quickly. So, I think there's some positive to that. I think for a lot of people, that's what we're talking about today. The options that you have now for cash, options for things if you want to be really, really safe with your money. We're finally getting paid to do that. Right. Yeah, I've been doing this for almost 20 years, Jared, and really in the last year or so, finally we have options where people that if they want to just get a safe rate of return and get higher than what they've gotten in the last decades. Right. They can go ahead and do that. So the positive is, again, what hurt you in the 80s, if you remember that time when rates were super high, Now we have a time where, hey, now you have some assets. People now have some money, the clients we deal with, and they're able to start generating a higher return on those.
Yeah, lots of times we get phone calls from people who are not our clients, and one of their first questions is, what do you have that's super safe, super conservative? I have some cash, it's sitting in the bank. And now finally we kind of have some options for these people. So let's spend a couple of minutes and maybe talk about what some of those options are.
Yeah, Jared. So I think, first of all, it's your own situation. So everybody's situation is very different. So what we're going to be talking about today doesn't apply to everyone. I want to make sure you hear what we're talking about, and then make a call to your financial professional and talk through some of these different options. But I would start right away with treasuries. You can get treasuries as short as a 3-month treasury. I did one just the other day. At the time of this recording, was able to get one of our clients 4.8%. Now those rates change all the time, but that's over a 3-month period. That's an annualized rate, of course, but just incredible. 3 months, tie up your money, and then now again in 3 months we'll have that back. And you're able to choose. Do you want 3 months or 6 months, 9 months, a year, whatever, depending on your own liquidity needs and your risk profile. So that works great. Another option would be regular fixed annuities. For years, these were not paying much, and they were probably not the first go-to for somebody that wanted to tie their money up for 3 years or 5 years or 7 years, whatever the term is. But now, again, rates are much higher, and that has pushed the rates on those type of options up a long ways as well.
We've done a show on I-bonds. I remember us talking about that. The thing I remember about that show is that they have to do with the government, A, and B, you're kind of capped as to how much you could put into those options. Is that correct?
Yeah. So an I-bond, again, is tied to inflation. So as inflation has tempered a little bit, the rate on those has come down some, but it's still really, really good as far as the rate. And you can go right to the Treasury Direct site and find out what the rate is paying as of you're listening right now. Yeah. So that certainly is an option for people. And I think another one that people should consider if it fits in your situation would be municipal bonds. There's some tax benefits there if you're in the state of Minnesota, and where we're recording this, and you have a Minnesota municipal bond, it is not taxed to the state of Minnesota or the federal government, so you save on taxes there. That Treasury, of course, we talked about earlier, is not subject to state income tax. So there's all these different variations to ways where you can get a little bit more return, even if you want to keep your money safe. I think it's been a question people have had for a long, long time, is what are my alternatives? So if I don't want to be in equities, the stock market doesn't fit me very well, I want to keep my money safer. What can I get for rate of return? And it has historically, again, over the last 30 to 40 years, been, well, there's not a lot of good options for you today. We look at the current situation, and you hear about how fast rates have moved up. In fact, they've come up so fast in the last year that it's even causing some financial big banks, some other institutions you're reading about in the news, to have some problems because, again, they are many times not ready for that big of a change.
Right. We've got about a minute left. What should this particular tool or option, how does that fit into kind of the overall plan of a retiree?
That's a great question. I think most retirees, you really value income. So we look at the difference between wealth, and that's money that's being saved over time and kind of a stockpile, versus income, which is your daily bread. It's what I need to live on. Retirees love income. And if you can get a much safer way to get them income, like the stuff talked about today, I think it can play a big role for many retirees.
All right. Thank you so much, Ben. If you want help discovering if a fixed income option is right for you and your retirement plan, we can help. We have a number of ways you can set up a no-cost, no-obligation meeting. First, give us a call at our phone number, 320-222-4236. You can request a meeting at our brand new website, teachusfinancial.com. Or if you live in West Central Minnesota and are in the neighborhood, just stop by our office. We're located on 19th Avenue Southwest in Wilmer. Office hours Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. I'm Jared Sebesta, joining you on this episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Securities offered through Avantax Investment Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Avantax Advisory Services. Insurance services offered through an Avantax affiliated insurance agency.